What's up, openers? We are on season 4, episode 30. Finale. This is the finale for season 4. We will come back January 27th. That is the third Tuesday. Is the fourth Tuesday? No, third Tuesday of January. Right? I think so. One of them. I don't know. We'll be back. Well, welcome to Open Relationship Podcast. We'll have an open, honest conversation. Talk about everything from A to Z as it pertains to LGBTQ plus community and beyond. I'm your host, Rodney. You can follow me on IG at thatboysirwash.
And I'm your host, Wally. You can follow me at Wally the Godfather on Instagram and YouTube, and also check out Car Talk with Wally.
And I am your host, Solomon E. Stretch, and you can follow me on IG at, what is it now, Stretch the Truth?
Not you not knowing your own Instagram.
I changed it a couple of times. You know.
It's just open wide.
No.
Ooh, poppers. We're open, and we also have host Collection Plate. And we are still playing the Reading Rainbow with our markers. But you can give it 3. I like that song. You like that song too?
I can do anything.
Where were you? Harmony.
I don't do background.
Well, you damn sure ain't the lead.
Womp womp.
Well, remember, openers, you can give in 3 ways. The first way, you can buy stars. We are 5-star, young professional, gay, black men, and sometimes queer, non-binary, and all the others for Wally.
Thank you.
Number 2, you can donate to the podcast. Whatever podcast you listen to us on in the description box and on YouTube. Click that donate button and give what you want to give. You know, it's our last show, so we take $30 or more. It's 30th episode, $30 or more only. Thank you. Nothing else less.
You might get a little foot action. You might get a little...
Or you might get a little Instagram picture.
Oh.
From this one.
No.
Yeah, that green circle be going crazy.
I'm telling you.
Once in the blue moon.
Solomon is not.
Solomon gonna have a... Oh, let me not say that.
Bro.
I hate you.
And also, you can give on YouTube. And Solomon's going to explain how you give on YouTube openers.
We love it when you we love it when you slide into our DMs and send us pictures. We love it when you send us comments. We love it when you send us letters. Please continue to send your letters.
I don't never get no pictures. Where y'all pictures at?
You haven't never got pictures for it?
Never?
I have. Hello, cum dumps.
Whoa.
Oh
my God. Wow. Slow down, sir.
Oh, that's JTV.
We're
how
not
you doing?
even 5 minutes in.
JTV, you've been missing shows. I'm happy you called us live this time. And also...
Hold on.
Oh, wait.
But we love it when you participate with us in the live chat. But especially, we love it when you like, you comment, and you subscribe. Emphasis on the comments. So when the show is over... we are going to do a better job at this. We are actually going to post sections of the show in the comments so that you guys can actually participate with the conversation after the show.
Okay, so we have 2 questions. So I'm going to say this. If you want to know the tea behind that, you have to subscribe. You have to go green. And when you go green, I miss you too, JTV. And when you go green, child ain't no tea. They just left. There's no tea behind
Child,
it.
I want to go green to hear the tea myself. Damn.
They left. Honestly, it's no hard feelings. You know, honestly, 5 people was a lot. You know, Solomon was right.
Oh.
No, because honestly, you know, I'm trying to shoot tea. Honestly, it was just going to be between... Well, I'm going to get my 2. I'll let Solomon get his 2. He like... I was torn between you and Wally, but I wanted Meech.
But I am Wally.
Yeah, you and Wally. Oh, Wally and Randall. So Meech was always on mine, but I was torn between you and Randall.
Okay.
And what was yours?
I don't remember. But I do remember that I do remember saying that 5 was too many.
You did.
But I was willing to give it a try because your original idea was 5.
It was. That's why we did it. It really was. But now we see that it didn't work, and that would never happen again.
SJD 9.1. We are definitely keeping it real.
Yeah, there ain't no tea.
Yeah, there's no secrets. There's no hard feelings. And we'll actually talk about it more in the Menage a Trois.
Oh, we will. Yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna keep some real tea. I'd rather have season 4 hosts over season 1 hosts any day. So if that's the tea you want, then that's the tea you got. Because season 1 hosts can go to hell.
Damn it, Rodney.
But I still give them credit. Like you said the last show, I gave them credit.
Ooh,
but no, I would never want to do a season 1 host ever again. I would take season 5 hosts over season 4 hosts. Sorry, over season 1 hosts.
I gag.
And that's true tea. Okay.
What was that? Was it what court show was that when the guy was like, "We slept this morning," and then the girl was like,
Yeah. She was like, when I said, girl, you got an older underbite. Well, openers, let me continue. But also, openers, you can buy stickers. When you buy stickers, go to the far right of the screen on YouTube, and you can spend money, and we will give you a shout out. Your thing will go right across the screen. It's our last show, so make sure y'all throw some money at us, okay? We like money. Okay? All right. And so let's read into this. So what's up, openers? Before we get into our first segment, Hot Topics with Rodney. It's going to be a different name next year. You know what to pay these bills. If you don't know, now you know. Apple is our official sponsor for the Open Relationship Podcast. If you haven't done so yet, click the link in the bio for 1 month of Apple TV, Apple Music for free. And as always, support is greatly appreciated. Hold on now, what he say?
"A lot."
God damn. You know, you got to subscribe. Now, we can't spend the whole time explaining this now.
Because I ain't saying it.
I tune in every week. The least y'all can do is subscribe. So, SGJ 9.1. SJD 9.1. I want to say first and foremost, I do appreciate you tuning in every week. I do. I really, really do. You're a true opener. However, it's really no tea. And you know, if you watch, you know I would tell you the tea. It's really no tea. It's no bad blood. People that couldn't commit like they thought they would. Some people want to do other avenues, and that's okay. There's no bad tea. It's really nothing. I have no issues with no one. It is what it is. I don't know what do you want me to say? Like, I hate them bitches. I want them to die. Like, what are you looking for? Because you're looking for,
because that is not the case.
That's not the case. So
because that could turn into a soundbite real quick.
Oh yeah, you're right. Let me say that because they be like trying to soundbite me, but no, it's really no issues there. It really is not. Just keeping it real. Now we must go on. Okay. All right. All right. Also, openers. So this is for you, SJD 9.1. We go green. And when you go green, we go live every 4th Thursday of the month. We're going to do something special for November and something special for December. So we might have a little tea party, but it's really no tea to tell. But we have some things going on we want to talk about, want to know. So this is when you join us and get ready to our business, and we will definitely go with what's going on.
Keep going. Stay focused.
Okay, I have to stay focused because I'm really getting thrown off. I don't know. Did I say that?
Just stay focused.
Okay.
Stay focused.
Well, you've been saying everything anyway.
Well, hold me accountable. Did I say I'm going to get the details? Because I don't know what details I'm going to be given.
I don't know. Your accent got in the way. I ain't understand what he said.
Sure, let's go on. All right. So hot topic. Okay, yes. 2 did leave the show. We have to move on, y'all. This is the last episode. We have to move on. Yes, they're going. Meech and Randall is no longer here. Meech and Randall is no longer here. Okay, there you go. All right. So now we're going to get into hot topics with Rodney. So this is a good one. I think it's very controversial as well. Controversial as well. Lord Jesus. That twang child be getting you sometimes. Mm-hmm. Terrell Grice visited T.S. Max on her podcast called Outlaw. he discusses coming out to with his mother. She had some choice words for him. He said once the dust settled, he understood where his mother was coming from. And so when he said that, the gay community didn't like what he said. A lot of people said, like, why are you making excuses for somebody who was calling out your name and blah, 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 blah. And I will get my commentary on it, but how do y'all feel about that? Do you think he was making excuse for his mother?
What exactly was said?
Basically, he came out to his mom. His mom didn't like it. She had some words for him, some choice words he used. His the verbiage. He didn't say what she said, but it wasn't pleasant, basically.
Yeah.
And he was like, once it just settled, he was like, understood where mom was coming from. Because when you have, like you said, mama had me, she had a future already planned in her head, what she thought was going to be like, and I ruined it. So for that aspect, I respected it, but that's not what my life is for. They had another conversation. They got better, but the community was like, "Why you make excuse for your mom when she was like talking about you, downing you, and you should not everyone talk to her again?" It was kind of crazy in the comments. Not gonna lie.
For me, I don't see what's wrong with that. I think this generation sometimes gets a little bit too sensitive because for me, like, my mother has said a lot of things that were not appropriate about, when I first was, entering the scene or, coming out as I am. Allegedly. There were a lot of choice words that I was given. And so a lot of people in similar positions, they choose to disown their parents. But for me, like, I don't agree with that. I feel like, time heals if you're both willing to work at it. Now, if it's one thing where it's just like you're shaming me to hell and that's your stance, then obviously I'm going to have to separate, from you probably indefinitely. But, we have to be understanding that our parents are also people and we can't put them on a pedestal. And sometimes they say things and they do things that are not appropriate and they do things that harm us. And we have to understand that that's a part of the process, unfortunately. And that's my stance. And not everybody can agree with that, but that's my stance.
I think everybody's coming out story is different. And this just happens to be his. Whether you believe he's making excuses for his mom, I don't know. Because I don't know exactly what was said and I don't know his initial reaction. I do know that when the interaction happened, there was an initial reaction, and then he had some time to process it, right? I can say that from a personal standpoint, I would probably, from a personal standpoint, was in the same position. At the onset of coming out, or my coming out story, there was a lot of hurt, and as time went on and I chose not to be mad, then my conversation changed. Mm-hmm. And so I think a lot of us choose to be mad. And being mad can mean walking away. It could be abandoning your family. It could be whatever the case may be. Or it could even be having the feelings that you were abandoned. Mm-hmm. But if you are choosing peace, you just choose peace.
Yeah.
And that could look however it looks for whoever it is. Because at the end of the day, whether you in the closet, you out of the closet, all you have is you.
Yeah.
I like that. I think I have a different approach. And again, I don't care if y'all like it or not, because the one thing about my mama, y'all ain't gonna come from my mama or my daddy. They made me. And I agree, and I saw where he was coming from. In the day, your parents, when you have, I don't have a child, so I understand the feeling of having a child. But I can only imagine you holding your baby in your hand, and you're not really worried about their sexuality. You're worried about like, oh, they're gonna have a family, they're gonna have this, they're gonna have that.
Yes, to answer the question.
And okay, thank y'all. Cause I be reading the comments again. And they just see this bright future for you, right? And it's come from a heterosexual perspectives because your parents are heterosexual people. So, I mean, I don't think nothing wrong with that, right? But then when you grow up, you learn things of what you like, learn things are different from your parents, and you say, hey, mom and dad, I am gay. it's going to be a shock to your parents who think you're going to be straight, right? So I'm not going to ever pretend that's not a thing, right? I just think that's crazy ludicrous to be like, oh, I'm shocked my parents are mad or disappointed or they didn't give me a positive reaction because I came out gay. However, what matters to you is what happens after that, right? Words are going to be said. I have said the worst things to my parents before, like I hate you and all kind of stuff, and they have said things to me that I don't think was pleasant, but I think what really matters is when y'all come back and have that conversation again and revisit it and say, you know what, son, I wasn't happy, but I'm willing to work with this with you and see it through with you. I might not agree with everything you do, but you're my child. Yeah. And that was enough for me, right?
Yeah. And
I'm blessed to say that happens to me because a lot of times that's not the case for a lot of people. But I'll be damned if I went on a show and told my truth about my parents and y'all to come and try to read my mom and daddy. No.
Well, my issue with it is a lot of us grow up with the message, I love you unconditionally.
Yeah.
I love you no matter what. And then one day what happens? And then that whole script changes. Mm-hmm. So I love you no matter what. I love you unconditionally. And then this condition happens. And then you completely flip. Mm-hmm. And so then it breaks trust. It breaks loyalty. It breaks the bonds. And so there's a lot of cognitive dissonance that happens in that moment. And some people choose to explain it away, because I don't like to say make excuses. Some people tend to explain it away. Some people internalize it. A lot of things happen. And so I don't think it's as easy as saying, I understand where they're coming from, because at the end of the day, each individual that is born into their own life. You can have expectations for my life. I get that, but this is still my life.
Yeah, and that's where I was coming from. It's still my life. Heavy those are still my parents.
Yeah,
and I can talk shit about my parents and my siblings. Okay, if you're not a sibling, then you can't talk shit about my parents.
And the thing is, our parents, they have their vision of our lives in their head until we change the narrative or we associate to what we actually want and who we actually are.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have to adjust to that. And so for me, like, I need my mother in my life. You know, I am her only child. And so I understand that it's like, you don't have an opportunity to do this again. And that ain't my problem, but I understand where she's coming from, you know, and probably the same thing that, you know, Terrell, you know, associates with his parents is like, well, I need her in my life, but how do we work through this? Exactly. As opposed to just like, you know, throwing them out with the bathwater. I mean, because the thing is, when you run from situations like that, you continue to run from everything else in your life.
And let me say this too, but I want to make sure my heart goes out to the ones who family y'all don't talk to no more. I can't imagine not going to my parents' house on the holidays and things like that. So I really do feel bad for you. However, I really think you need to have a healing session with a therapy. Because one thing you cannot project your feelings onto everyone else, because you don't talk to your parents. Don't come back, somebody else want to talk to their parents. Or they worked it out and they were mad because their mom probably called them a faggot and some other stuff.
Not
and
the F-bomb.
I'm just saying, you know, some people work through it.
Can we just say the F word?
The F.
We're on YouTube.
If some people say the F word,
bundle of sticks
and things like that, and you know, and they parents worked it out. That's their business, and you cannot project your feelings onto what you felt and why you drew a hard line because your mom don't say something to you. You was like, oh no, I'll never come back. That's your business. That's your right. Yeah. Don't get mad because I want to go back to mine. Okay.
Everyone has a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, but we must move on. Okay, what does this government shutdown really mean? So I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the Shade Room. A lot of people are misinformed, and I am here to help you, okay? Because I love political news. So I have some good 3 bullet points. I'm going to read them, and I'm going to break them down for you. So, the shutdown. The U.S. government shut down on October the 1st of 2025 after Congress failed to agree on funding a bill. Federal workers are furloughed and key programs like SNAP and public health services are being disrupted. So basically what that means is that when you have new president, you guys, they have laws written in, let's just say a year or so into the new presidency. And once those laws and things are like their ruling is over with, they have to agree on a new budget, right? So right now, we know that Trump passed his big, beautiful bill. I want to explain that as well. And so now it passed the House and the Senate. However, you still need approval from the House and the Senate. That's why we have this government called bipartisan, because you still need Democrats and need Republicans, regardless who's in charge. So right now, the Democrats are saying, no, we're not going to sign this, we're not going to sign this, because we know what's going to happen to the public once this bill passed. And I'm going to explain that later on down the line, but I just want to make sure y'all can see the gist of what's going on. So we know the big, beautiful bill did pass the House, Senate, and the president signed into law. However, the funding for that bill is on halt because the government shut down, because now the Democrats not saying yes to this money to go to these programs. Okay? All right, so this is the conflict. Republicans want a short-term funding bill. It's called a continued resolution that keeps spending at the current level. Democrats are refusing to pass it unless a major policy issues are addressed. So basically, they can sign a little bill to say, hey, we can approve this funding. So basically, Republicans saying, hey, y'all know what? If we sign this thing right now to get the government back open, we would then later on negotiate. The Democrats like, hell no, we ain't doing that because we know how y'all run and y'all listen to us anyway, so we going to head stand and head strong and not give in to y'all. And I'm okay with that. All right. And number 3, these are Democrats' demands. They want to stay in Affordable Care Act premiums, subsidies, reverse Medicaid cuts, and restore public media funding, arguing that these protect low and middle class income Americans from higher costs and service losses. So I think we need to really focus on the key aspects right here and see. Because right now, you all know that these premiums are creeping up every damn year. With this big, beautiful bill, you can be seeing your paychecks going from spending. So let's talk about my business. I don't care about, it's not a secret. I pay $94 a month for my health insurance, right? I mean, $94 every 2 weeks. So that's like $189 a month or whatever. So if this big, beautiful bill passed, we had a thing talking our job. And if they do pass this bill, my premium for healthcare for a single individual, not for a family, will go up to $390 a month. For what I want. $390 a month. I'm a single individual man. It's going up to $390 a month. Can you imagine having children? That's like $700. And people don't get paid enough already. So you telling me that you want your constituents in your counties and your cities and your state, so for people like me, right? I make 6 figures. I'm not high up there, but I make 6 figures, right? So I can possibly get by with something. I don't have any children. I have a mortgage, but I make enough. But what do you say for the family who makes $50,000 a year, $30,000 a year, and you telling me that they work at these jobs and you're going to increase their premiums for what? It's going to hurt them, okay? So now we get to the big, beautiful bill. Let's break that down. It's an estimated bill that will cost about 10.9 million Americans lose health care insurance coverage, okay? That's 10.9 million people who will lose health care coverage. That is a lot of people. Do y'all know the disparity that will happen when that happens? Like, rural hospitals right now will not even have funding to take care of people. And they want to say it's for illegal aliens and all this other stuff. Like, no, y'all don't want to pay people. But we're cutting money from the low to pay for the top. And that's why I think government is very important, you guys. Because, like, if y'all don't know what's going on, y'all going to be SOL. You know, I can't say what I want to say, but SOL. So make sure y'all go read a government book or something. Learn what's going on. Because we get these billionaires, these trillionaires, all these tax cuts, credits, and the middle people, poor people that's paying for it. It doesn't make any sense. And more specifically, the Congressional Budget Office, CBO, projects at least 17 million Americans could become uninsured over the next decade when you include additional effects. So again, there's 17 million people losing their health care. So again, with Obama passed, you could not discriminate when you had cancer, things like that. They can really tell you, y'all don't remember how it was before Obama got in office. When you had a pre-existing condition, they could really deny you health care. Mm-hmm. Obama passed that act, right? The Affordable Care Act, which protects you now for pre-existing conditions where if they did accept you, you were probably paying like $800 a month. What I'm saying is they had caps now, and now they're trying to erase all that. So do you want to go back to a time when you had cancer, or if you even had like HIV and things, or sometimes high blood pressure, a diabetic, they got denied once that year was out. So this is some serious stuff, y'all. And C, analysts estimate about 34% of the U.S. population, roughly 1 in every 3 Americans, will negatively be impacted by some part of the bill, particularly through cuts like Medicaid and SNAP, which is food assistance. So I just want to say this really quick. I started to say, you guys, it is very important that the Democrats hold strong. I know I have family in the military. They're not getting paid. The government workers, I understand. However, y'all, it's going to be like this moving forward when they do sign this bill, when y'all lose y'all stuff. I know Medicaid is not giving out money right now after the 1st of November because they didn't pass this bill. But I want to shout out to Pastor Jamal Bryant. He's asking his members to give it to SNAP. And honestly, y'all, go to your church and see what y'all can do. For people who are still working and able to get a paycheck, you can take 10% of that money and say give it to the church and go get somebody on SNAP and food benefits. Like, your church is supposed to be a community leader, you guys. So make sure you go out there and do what you're supposed to do and be a part, a solution to the problem. What do y'all feel about this bill? I know I was talking about a lot.
You did talk about a lot. But in terms of going to vote, please make sure you're reading everything that is everything that has the potential to change. Because as you were talking about hospitals and healthcare, the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act is a key component in healthcare. It is what allows individuals to go to the hospital and not have to make an immediate payment. If they're in an emergency situation. And so hospitals are required currently to stabilize individuals who are in an emergency situation, no matter their financial situation or if they have insurance or not. But due to these political challenges, this act is on the chopping block. Or there are significant changes or funding that will affect it. And so that doesn't just affect poor people. We already know that healthcare is an expensive thing. So middle class, upper middle class, you can have an emergency situation that could be tens of thousands of dollars and not have the ability to pay it. And so that's something that you really do need to take a look at. Yeah,
I agree. I really think it's time for us to wake up and understand what's going on around us. I think it's a natural occurrence this particular administration that supports corporations, and they're doing everything they can to reverse any laws or anything that benefits the common people that either Obama has put in place or liberals have fought for years. And so this is all seeking to overturn that. So I really urge you guys to take a look at the local political elections that are happening. Here in Atlanta, we have a mayoral race. We have city council president. We have other seats, judges, other seats on the city council. And so definitely take heed to what these people stand for and how they're going to really fight for the city of Atlanta, but also, our local governments to see how they can help the American people. And I think that's really important that we really take our blinders off and take heed to that.
Also, the school board for APS school system is also
right, that is on the ballot as well.
It's a lot going on, you guys, in Atlanta. So make sure you all vote. I know there was a lot. Y'all probably want to hear about it, but this is real life. Okay, this is some real life shit going on.
For real.
So when life hits you, when it affects you, don't come here crying.
Smack you in the face.
Oh, I can't believe doing this. I try to warn you. I warned you. Okay?
Early voting is going on now. So as you are going to vote, if you do get your sticker and you're going to post it on social media, go ahead and tag Open Relationship Podcast.
Yes, please. Thank you. I like that. I voted. All right, Wally, take it away.
All right, openers, you know what time it is. I am Wally, and welcome to a segment I like to call Get Your Life and Play the Game. So today we have a game called Queer, You Better Vote.
I love that.
Okay. I don't care who you are, male, female, in between. Oh, sorry, I ain't supposed to be saying that.
Oh, no, but your title just triggered. The Supreme Court's have they decided if they're going to hear?
They want to let gay marriage be okay for now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a little behind on my news.
Yeah, thank you for clearing that up.
Oh, thank you, SJD 9.1. I like that for real. He said it was informative. We got to inform the people. That's what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Let's continue to inform.
Back to the game. Queer, you better vote.
I like that. Vote.
I don't have time.
In the spirit of voting season, hosts will pick random statements from our magic pot that an LGBTQ plus person may vote on. Tell us if you agree or disagree with the statement and why.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Religion does not equal policy. I agree. And even though I'm a Christian, everyone's not a Christian, I don't think that Christian teachings should be the end all be all for America.
Separation of church and state.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I also agree.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Queer reparations we deserve.
It's funny because I had a conversation this past weekend and somebody was just saying, yes, as queer people, we need reparations like we deserve because we suffer. What do y'all think about that?
I'm going to say hard no. What about you?
I had never thought about it before.
You want some money?
Shit, I want some money. Shit. Okay, hardship.
Did you
yes.
Let me stop. That's not funny.
I'll be the biggest gay ass you want for some a little check.
Not that dress like gay is disability. Lord Jesus.
I am going to say, this is...
Damn, Solomon, you want money?
I am going to say that this is low priority for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's fair.
I'll say that.
That's fair.
Look at
You said hard no.
Right.
Hard no, I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm, Christian. What we got here? Housing is healthcare. I do agree. That unhoused people, that is a challenge and it is a healthcare issue. If you're living on the street, if you're living in shelters, like that is not healthy for your mind and your body. Yeah.
Well, not living in a shelter is not good.
I mean, have you ever
on the street?
Have you ever lived in a shelter?
I have not, but I do think if they have programs where they can give you shelter and food, I'm okay with that.
But shelters aren't always safe.
Right.
But
Housing is always safe.
you get your stuff
that's
taken
true.
because it's like basically you're put in a room with a bunch of people that you don't know. And you know what I mean? Like these people
to be
can have mental
realistically,
health
like, let's just
issues. Like,
oh Lord, I don't know if people agree with this. To be realistic, you cannot house every homeless person, every person in the world. We don't have the space. We just can't do that. However, can you give them shelter for the time being to get back on their feet? Yes. So I'm okay with having 4 or 5 buildings out there, whatever your city, county, to house someone. I don't think anyone should be sleeping on the street in the cold, wet. No. Well, if you have a cot and some food that can get you to where you need to be, you can have a P.O. box there, get your mail, and you can get back on your feet. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Being
You
honest.
make it sound so easy. It's not so easy, and I think
It's not.
because housing and healthcare, there's a reciprocal nature going on.
Yeah.
In which there are people who are unhoused because of mental health. I remember doing a program with Georgia State School of Public Health, and I was working with a participant, and we talked about being unhoused, and he said, because we were like, give one word that comes to mind when you say unhoused or homeless, and he said lie, and it threw everybody off.
Interesting.
And I was like, lie? Like, what does that mean? He was like, the lies you have to tell yourself every single day that this is okay.
Even being a shelter is bad.
Well, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that
Wally?
for each individual, it's different.
All I got to say is when more and more people begin to lose their jobs, which is inevitable in this type of economy, we'll see what happens then.
Let me knock on wood. Anything it can happen to anybody.
I'm just saying, like you
What I'm
don't
saying
know what.
If I sleep on a shelter to sleep on a street, I'm gonna take the shelter. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm not. So I'm not saying that you have to choose, right? I'm just saying that it's not as easy as just saying that. Put somebody in the cot, give them some food, and help them get on
and they'll
their
be
feet.
okay. Like,
Well, you would never be okay. You lost you're unhoused.
Well, it's a systemic thing. Like, it's not just a individual thing. Like, when you look at veterans and how they're treated and the kind of healthcare that they get, when you look at individuals who are indigent, when you look at the system, it doesn't fare well for individuals who just who can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I don't agree. To say that we can't house every unhoused person, I don't agree.
I think it's possible. I do think it's possible.
Okay, we'll discuss that offline because I really want to know.
I mean, not in this structure of government.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The way the United States is structured and most countries, it's not possible. But I do believe it can be possible if people gave a damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, it's my turn. Mm-hmm. Ban conversion therapy. Hell yes. Ban that shit.
Wait, what?
I want to ban conversion therapy.
Why?
Wait, you like converting people being straight to gay, being from gay to straight? That's bad, right?
So my definition of conversion therapy, and Solomon, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, if you're changing genders.
Oh, well, no, I didn't take that definition. I think about how you go.
Conversion therapy is what?
Oh, that's what I thought.
What Rodney was.
Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, what is that called?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. All right, let us know in the comments because I don't know. Maybe we confused about what conversion therapy is.
I don't know what you were getting at. But conversion therapy is when like they send little gay kids to camp.
Yeah.
And then they go through this program to like be straight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so I was right. I
All
was
right.
saying, wait, what did I say wrong?
I don't know.
Because I said, I don't want to be wrong on that.
Hey.
Okay. I was like, woo.
All right. End the war on the poor. Agree.
Who?
End the war on the poor.
Yes. Yes. I do agree with that.
Yeah. And it's definitely a war right now. I mean, as you explained during, your hot topics. So, it's rough times, people. Statewide gender neutral bathrooms. Am I in support of this or not?
Can I hide my face?
This is a tricky thing for me because I don't want to sound insensitive, but I'm actually against this. I'm against this because I'm a business person and I think about the infrastructure that it takes to actually implement that. And a lot of these businesses are not going to be supported to actually create gender neutral bathrooms. So that's why I am not in support of it. Now, if the government said, okay, we're going to fund every business and you can convert, your signing and you can make a new bathroom for a gender neutral situations, then yes, but that ain't gonna happen. So I'm not in support of it.
Do I have to give my answer? Mm-hmm. Oh Lord. Okay. Open and honest. What was the question again?
Gender neutral bathroom
for everyone. No. Mm-hmm. No. I don't care. I plan to have children one day. Now I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm raising my kids how I want to see my kids fit for me. I think I'm a well individual. I think I'm very nice, loving, understanding. I don't get everything right, but I try. And for one, hey Melanie Granger,
what's going on, Melanie Granger? Woo-hoo. And thank you for the $9.99.
Pull over that ass too fat. Woo woo.
And happy baby boy,
happy baby boy.
So again, let me just put some more backgrounds.
What your children got to do with it?
If you are a transgender individual,
oops, here we go.
And if you are transitioning, I don't have issue with you going to a male or female bathroom. Mm-hmm. However, if you identify as non-binary and what's the other stuff?
Not the other stuff.
Other things they have. I mean, it's I don't want a non-binary person going to the bathroom with my little girl. I'm sorry. I don't want it, don't like it, don't even little boy. Don't like it, don't need it. Now, if you are transitioning, that's fine. But if you are talking about I'm non-binary, get your non-binary ass to go to the bathroom to go to. I'm sorry. That's my truth. And I'm going to hold on to my truth.
Yes, you are.
Because I don't want my little 3-year-old girl or 4-year-old girl or 5-year-old boy or whatever be in the bathroom with another person. No, we're not doing that.
I don't mind it.
It's not ever going to be okay for that.
So I don't mind it in adult spaces because I actually went to an art event recently and they basically made both the bathrooms gender neutral. And I thought it was kind of cool. Like, it's just kind of like, I mean, naturally the guys had to be at the urinals, but am I saying that correctly? But, and then the women had to go to the stalls, but it's just like, they come out and you washing your hands together. It's interesting. Like, I thought it was kind of cool, but, I don't think it's going to work everywhere.
No.
Mm-hmm. I'm undecided, and I'm undecided because no. Let me give you some backstory. Let me give you backstory.
That ain't right.
Hold on. Let me give you backstory. So I used to be a manager at a gym, a big chain gym, and this became an issue. I
remember you being at
yes, at the gym.
I do too.
At the gym. And so there was a member who was trans, and they were wanting to use one of the bathrooms, and the other members started to complain, and I did not know what to do. And so I called up the chain, and everybody was like, I don't know. So this turned into a 45-minute situation. I'm on the phone for 45 minutes, damn near an hour, trying to figure out well,
damn it, they really got to go to the bathroom. It's too late now.
Right. But at the same time, then it was someone came back and was like, hey, what does it say on their ID? Whatever it says on the ID is the bathroom that they should go to. And that just made it easy. It just made it simple. Mm-hmm. And I also understand that identification is a barrier for a lot of people.
It is. So
it's not as easy as it was for me in that moment because someone gave me the answer.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know. For me personally,
what's your personal view? Petunia.
So I will say this. So back in my younger years, I went to a bathhouse, and a trans individual was on the men's side, and they had full breasts and a penis. and long hair. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I saw everybody else's reaction, and some folks didn't care, and other folks were just like grossed out. And I was just like, I was more interested in other people's reaction as opposed to the person being there.
Okay, so what's your answer?
So again, I'm not bothered.
You don't care. Got it.
Yeah,
Well, I was unbothered in that moment.
Okay.
that's fair.
And when I say bathhouse, I meant like one of the Korean spas.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the clarity.
I needed to do that for me.
It's on and grab, pick your poison.
Oh.
Why
No.
aren't you looking at him?
Well, no, this one just had a little design on it.
Okay.
Oh, because you got it from Oak.
Fund queer housing programs. Yes, I am for that.
Wait, what?
Fund.
Oh, fund.
I'm sorry,
Fund.
I just say fund. Fund queer housing programs. Yes.
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
I think any housing programs need funding, so I'm just gonna put that out there.
Okay, yes. Is that it?
What's it? You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Schools need inclusion, not bans. I do agree with that.
I agree.
I think with a caveat though, I think you have to be cautious when creating certain laws and certain agreements when it comes to schools. You have to, especially when they're underage, when they're in elementary school. So I would say yes, I do agree, but depends what it is.
I got logged out. What was it? What was your situation?
It was schools need inclusion, not bans.
What kind of inclusion?
Whatever inclusion is.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's broad. It's broad, and that's why I give a
I'm gonna say
caveat.
yes, because in this
Yeah.
world we live in, people have different households, right? Mm-hmm. Even though I don't understand some of the things that go on with the gay community, like I just understand a lot of the different genders. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's a lot going on.
Okay.
However, I do think everyone should have a space to speak their truth.
Asexuals deserve love too,
They do.
wherever they are.
Even the non-binary people. Yeah. Stop! I was being for real. Even though I don't understand it, but I still need inclusion.
Yes. Inclusion.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's move on.
All right, hold on.
Oh
Ban assault weapons.
no.
I'm torn on
What is
this.
an assault weapon? Break that down. Like,
Like
I don't
an
think you need machine
AK-47.
guns. No, you don't need a machine gun. Yes, I'm yes. Okay, I'm yes on that.
I would definitely say yes. I think the problem in this particular country is that, the floodgates are already open. And so when you close them, then you create more underground activity and you almost fuel more crime. So, I don't know. It's tough.
Part of me says yes, right?
Yeah.
Because of course you have these individuals who are taking these assault weapons to schools and airports and these public places, and mass shootings. Mass shootings is a thing, especially here in the United States. But I also say, then a part of me, because I'm very aware of the world that we live in, and I understand that there are portions of populations that need to be protected.
But do you really need a machine gun? I'm just being honest.
Maybe.
Okay, well, I guess I don't think nobody needs a machine gun.
One more round.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of questions. Okay. Alrighty.
These were kind of fun.
Mine's, I go first. Mm-hmm. No new jails. I'm going to say I'm torn in between. Because honestly, people will do bad things, and I don't believe in overpopulation. Mm-hmm. And that can be an issue. So I'm actually going to say no because of overpopulation. I don't think a jail should be crowded.
So I I am not going to agree with that for the simple fact that sometimes it becomes a human rights issue. So if you think about the Atlanta jails or Fulton County jails, like it has a history of just being just not a good facility to house people. You know, people were breaking out, they were knocking down the walls, people were getting asbestos and, you know, different diseases because they were housed in this inhumane situation. So for me, like,
let me take that back. If you kill my mom, I don't care how you live. I'm being honest. Catch every disease you got in that damn motherfucker.
If you don't care about what?
If you was to kill my mother and you went to jail, I don't care if you catch anything.
Okay, but...
So I don't know. I'm in between. I'm torn in between. I'd have to be honest. Because if you kill someone I love, and I would not give a damn about you catching shit.
But what about the million other crimes that people commit and
I'm talking about, let me say, people murder people then. I'll put that out there. People murder people. I don't care what you catch.
But I also...
I'm going to put that out there.
Again...
Put it in the record.
These are hard because...
Right?
Of systemic issues, because you have individuals who go to jail for murder who didn't commit murder, and they spend 20, 30 years. Well, you were very specific with somebody.
Right, that is extremely specific.
Now, if you really killed someone, maybe because y'all be trying to do all this little shit. If you really killed someone and you were found guilty and you was not, you was innocent, I don't care what you catch. I don't care what. Zoom in, production, please. I don't care what you catch. Okay?
Well, my thing is, so the question was no new jails. Do you agree or disagree? Now, if you're saying, let's go ahead and abandon the old jails and put the people in the new jails where they have better conditions.
Yeah.
If that's what you're saying, then okay, I'm for that.
Right.
But if you're saying just don't build any more jails,
increasing the number of jails.
The numbers of jails.
I'm in disagreement to that because of the systematic issue that we have specifically in this country towards people of color. So I'm going to disagree with that. Yeah.
I'm also in disagreement with that, and I'm also in disagreement with it being big business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it definitely is.
Yeah,
it's modern day slavery.
So,
yeah,
that was a very loaded.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
All right. Keep politics out of our bodies.
Yes. Hell yes. I think it's sad that women can't even go get abortions. That's crazy to me.
I do agree, but I think also government policy funding for certain services is driven by government policy. So if it's not a political issue, then how does it get service is my question. That's what leaves me on the fence.
Which also just it circles back to what we were talking about earlier with that Emergency Treatment Act.
Yeah.
It's a long acronym. But yeah, so if it helps, yes. If it harms, no.
Right.
I'm gonna say this: should anyone tell you what to do with your body? I just think that's crazy. I can't imagine what time women could even get on a credit card in their name. That's crazy to me. Like, could he own property? That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't. And I feel like when you let them get away with this, they're going to keep going and going and going and pushing the needle. So, no, I don't. You control your own damn body.
Yeah. I agree. So last one, I have end gender voter suppression. So when I wrote this, I thought about our previous end gender voter suppression. So
what that mean?
So basically, when I wrote that, I thought about your situation that I think you talked about several episodes ago about the trans person that went to the airport and they couldn't go out of the country because they had the wrong gender on their passport. So, and although I don't really have factual evidence of, how this is created voter suppression, but I can see how it can easily become an incident. So, of course, I'm against that. Yeah.
Okay. I am against voter suppression. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's a unanimous yes. So, all right. With that being said, openers, thank you for tuning in to Get Your Life, Play the Game, and let us know in the comments which statements do you agree with and which statements do you not agree with and why? So let us know.
It was a good game.
Can you, did you type them out?
I did not. Oh. Well, actually, yes.
Okay. So can you post them in the comments so the, when we're done, so the openers can actually
I can do that.
Respond. All right. Well, all right, openers. Well, you know, here at Open Relationship Podcast, we have open and honest conversations, and sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, but we agree to disagree, and we always walk away feeling like we have been heard, and that's what we hope for you as well. But this episode 30, is the season finale of season 4. And season 4 has been a roller coaster. When we started out with this season, we were in a different studio. We came back home. Yeah. And then there were some arguments. There was a lot of joy. Yeah. A lot of black boy joy. Black queer joy, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to actually just have an honest conversation about where we are and how we're feeling about everything, because this end is the beginning. Yeah. Just like the previous ends were a beginning. And again, there's no love lost. But I do want to talk about the love, the loss, and what we learned. Okay. And so just remember those 3 L's: what we love, what we lost, and what we learned. Because I think a lot of times we sit here and we have our conversations, and they're kind of spur of the moment, but they don't necessarily feel real. Like real. Like when Rodney and I sit and talk, it's just real. Yeah. One thing that I love is that when we both started season 1, I think we were both single. Weren't you single season 1-ish? Single-ish?
Yeah.
Single-ish. And then like behind the scenes, Rodney and I, we have conversations about the growth in our personal lives. We have conversations about where we are in our personal relationships. And it actually is very dear to me when Rodney's like, oh my God, I'm so proud to see how far you've come, especially in your relationship. I can remember when you were in season 1 and season 2 and you were single, you were by yourself, you were alone, you were by yourself. And so he would emphasize that. But then he would just talk about like, I love seeing you with your person, right? And I love seeing Rodney with his person. But we also got to see each other grow in those spaces. And I've gotten to see a lot of the people who have come through Open Relationship Podcast grow in certain spaces. So let's talk about it. So what did you love? What were the losses, and what did you learn?
For this season?
Well, for this season, but then just along the way.
I love when I made that post and I got an overwhelming for season 1. I got an overwhelming response for like people like, oh yes, we need this, we need this, we need this. I was like, well, damn. I was expecting me to respond, but it was a lot of people.
What specifically are you
season
referring to?
Season 1.
Like just starting the podcast?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like I remember because I'm like, I want a podcast where I just feel like people can speak their mind and not always be yes men. I kind of feel like, and don't shake, I love a lot of queer podcasters out there, but I feel like a lot of them just like to be people pleasing, and everyone's not the same, honestly. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want to create a podcast where, I'm not single. I want to create a podcast where people can come, whether you agree with me or not, you can still speak to how you want to speak to, and like speak your feelings, speak your truth, but be respectful, right? Yeah. I'm all for that. And I just love the response. I love interviewing people. I love this meeting, even the guys in season 1. I feel like it was a great season going into it, but during season it was hell. You said what I love, right?
Yes.
You said this season was hell?
No, season 1.
Oh, season 1. Okay.
Going to season 1 was hell. It was just a lot of. One thing I don't understand. I'm gonna say this. people have different modes when they join things, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not here to never tell you what you can and cannot do. However, what you can't never be me. That's just is what it is. You know, people think it's so easy to run a podcast, think it's so easy to come up here and get people to get along and talk and write shows. People take that for granted because you don't do it. When you do it for yourself, you see it's work.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
It's a lot of work. You know, people think I gotta come up here and talk my shit and don't do nothing in the background. Which I do stuff in the background. I run my stuff very well. So when people try to throw shade and try to be like, oh, I can do this, and when they do, I be like, they didn't last nothing but 2 episodes.
Don't do that.
I'm just being honest. Like, and it's no shade, but when you have ill intention, when you join things, you will never be blessed. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I'm at with it. Cause like people don't understand. I have done a lot of stuff, and I'm not the one to brag about what I've done. Who I know, I think it's so tacky. Like, oh, I know this person. Who cares? But I know what I've done, and I know what I had to do to get here. Okay, I had to cry a lot of nights, stressed out, crying, stressed out, going broke, trying to get this shit together. And other projects I have done. So like. You see, this is not even the finished project, darling. I'm still getting better. So if you're trying to be me, babe, you got a lot of steps to walk. And when you see that it wasn't easy, sweetie, you failed miserably. And that's a boy shout out to season 1. Season 2 and 3.
Love.
Oh, that's it?
No, keep with the love.
Season 2. I loved it. It was nice. Marco and Shazam with this always just have a place in my heart. I don't know if that's biased, but I guess because we did 2 seasons together and that could be biased. But like it was fun. I think what I was saying, it felt like friends talking. Yeah. It wasn't so much like business like. And I'm like, we get on this when we got up to film. It was just fun. Like we knew we were gonna have a good conversation. We were gonna laugh. It was gonna be something funny. Mark was gonna make a dumbass comment. Like, girl. But like I loved it. Season 4, I loved that y'all made me get back into the business mind of things. Cause I felt like I'm like, well, damn, I was not thinking about sometimes y'all did go crazy. When not gonna lie, when y'all talking about the voices, and I'm like, bitch, who's stealing people's voices? Like, I really YouTubed and Google
that
searched.
Was a portion of the contract.
I'll tell you what I thought was crazy. That was crazy to me. When y'all had on talking about, I control my voice. Yeah, bitch, I can't talk like you. I don't even sound like you. What I'm gonna do? This is Rodney. Listen, your voice. I never understood that, but like, I love the fact that y'all was like, you know what? This is a business, right? We are trying to grow and make money. So I love that. So I'm gonna leave that there. I'm wait to go for the rest.
I already did my love, and so I'm gonna actually transition into
what
my
was your love?
The conversation that. Well, okay, I love that season 1 was just new. It was new for me. That was me stepping out of my comfort zone, me being something different than I've ever been before. Like, I'm very private. And so stepping into that space where I had to be a little bit more transparent. And I think along the years, I've just become a little bit more transparent. And it's just become fun. And so I love the fun of it. I think the beautiful thing about my role in this is that I know that this isn't necessarily mine. Like, I know this is Rodney's podcast. This is your baby. Let me say that. This is your baby. My role is, as your friend, I want to see you be successful.
Oh, thank you.
And so I show up. And season 2 and 3, again, it was just a different feel. But that also goes into my loss. So I honestly don't think that, and I'm gonna speak for myself, but maybe I can speak for you as well, Rodney. I don't think we appropriately grieve the loss of Shazam and Marco. And I don't want to say loss in terms of like they're no longer here. Like, again, they are near and dear to my heart. Still communicate with them to this day. But I don't think we necessarily grieve the loss of them on the show, and I think that carried into season 4.
Yeah.
And I think we brought them into season 4 with expectations for the others. That was just unfair.
I'm not gonna say that. I disagree with that. I disagree with that because I felt like I hope I never made y'all feel like y'all didn't matter. And if I did, I truly apologize.
No.
Okay, I want to make sure I put that out there.
And that's not what I meant by that comment.
Okay, well, I don't know. Okay.
I think it's more so like it did feel like this change was not your preference, which I understood.
Yeah, I respect that.
Right.
Yeah, I respect that. Yeah, okay, we'll go continue.
Well, and so that was it. Like I think we had something and we didn't acknowledge that it just wasn't that anymore.
Yeah.
Which didn't allow us to really sit into this new group. I think we tried. I think we made attempts.
Yeah.
But it was just different. And so that goes into the loss. And I think for the learning, what did I learn? I actually, I learned more about each of the hosts that we've sat with, and I'm a no new friends kind of guy.
Yeah.
But welcoming new people in was nice.
Okay.
And I learned that about myself.
I enjoyed it. I mean, honestly, overall, I enjoyed season 4. I think the conversation was just different, and I respected that. I think you said it, Bruce. I can't speak like you. You make things more better than how I say it. But like
Eloquent.
There you go. I really enjoyed the conversation. What I did not like, sometimes I want to say his name, he's not here to defend himself. But certain individuals, you get on my nerves. 'Cause I feel like he just always complaining. And I'm just like, girl, like either you here or you not. But then I got to learn him, and I felt like he was looking for a friendship, right? Because for what I got from my perspective, he was like, oh, I found this new brotherhood, and this is going to be a new best friends. And I'm just like, and when I stepped back and got to hang around him, I got to love him. Like, I really enjoy hanging around him. Like, we hang out, and we're still good. So, like, you just got to learn people, if that makes sense. But at first, he was getting on my damn nerves.
Understood.
The other one, he kind of threw me for a loop because in the interview, he was all like, yes, I'm a this, then you get here, you do the bare minimum. And I'm not going to say the name, but I think we all know what I'm talking about.
I would actually, I'm not going to agree or disagree, but I will say this. To the first individual, I agree wholeheartedly, because they invited us to spaces, and for whatever reason, and there was for me personally, there was always a reason. I wasn't able to show up, which didn't give me the opportunity to see them in their element.
Okay.
The other person, I think was a wild horse. Like, I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I think about authenticity, like, that's probably one of the first people that pops in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we can do you in front of your face.
That's fine.
While I feel like you was everything what I expect you to be. And that's not no shade. Like, you,
That's good.
You came and you did what you said you were gonna do, and I appreciate that. Like, you said you was good in this avenue, and you really, whatever you said you excelled in, you really did. Like, with the business thing, with the contracts, I'm like, damn, this bitch really doing all this shit. Like, but like, this what you said you like to do, and one thing, and I can't take that from you. You brought, at first I was worried about your topic, what you gonna bring. I'm like, girl, that shit is not gonna make it. But then when you came back with the game, I felt like that was your lane, and like
I changed it quick.
You did, because at first I was like, ooh, girl.
I know how to be agile.
But like, I really enjoyed your game. Your game was like a nice cut within the show to make it fun and interesting. So I appreciate that from you.
Thank you.
I will agree. So I will agree in the sense that, well, I didn't expect you to be so business.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to be so business.
Gotcha.
And for me, I think that's what took it out of what it was before. Mm-hmm. But again, I think that is what allowed us to get to where we are today, where now we're actually getting back in the realm of like, hey, this is actually a business.
Yeah.
Because y'all brought up some shit that I was like, wait a minute. Like when y'all talking about contracts and agreements and this, that, and the other, and I was like, whoa. But what I will say that I really, when we were at that other location mm-hmm. and y'all would get fired up, I was like, they are about it. They are about this. And I was like, oh, I love it. I love to see people who are in it. Mm-hmm. And that was amazing to me. That really showed me that, hey, we're going to do well.
Yeah.
I still don't like the Wally voice.
And that's okay.
Get your life. Play the game.
And that is completely okay. I ain't for everybody, nor do I claim to be, nor do I want to be.
And you know what? I think that is the thing that I love the most about you. Mm-hmm. Because you're one of those people that just surprised me. Because when I see you, like out and about, or from what I knew about you, you were more reserved.
Yeah.
But the more I gotten to know you, like, you were out there.
You a key. Yeah,
right.
I'm a lot more fun in person than...
Yeah, you do have fun.
Yeah.
You the type of person goes to a party you have fun with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it has been every time.
Yeah. But what's your perspective for season 4?
Ooh.
Give it honestly.
So I love a good sandwich, right?
Okay.
But for the both of you, like I knew the both of you before I joined the podcast. So I feel like I had a lot of respect for, Rodney, obviously, and, what you've been creating in media with this podcast, but in other podcasts. And like, similar to what you said before, like, it is not an easy task, like getting in front of people every week, but also like the infrastructure behind it and the consistency of it. Like, I have done a lot of things, as far as like a lot of different platforms or whatever, and I still do. But the consistency was always a challenge for me. Mm-hmm. And so I always respected, what you did and what you created. And for Solomon, like, we kind of have mutual friends. We've seen each other in passing, a lot of times. So
we kind of have mutual friends.
I mean, well, yes, we do.
We have mutual friends.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm just thinking, like, I've always seen you around. So it's just like, regardless of whether I knew about the mutual friends or not, but just the way that you carry yourself and the groundedness that you possess, I've always just respected that. It's just an aura that you possess. So as far as like the elements of this season, I think there were a lot of good things. It's new and fresh, and you're joining something and you're trying to figure out where you fit in. And I feel like you guys were patient with that process, and I did appreciate that. I will say the challenging things were just that we all 5 were just completely different people. And I don't know if I ever been in a situation where just everybody is literally different. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like you're trying to bridge it together. And I think we did a good job of and this may sound bad, but pretending on camera. I think we did a good job of pretending. But I don't know.
I'm not mad at that.
It was just not fully formed. And I think it started to fall apart specifically when you saw us go out into public. I think some of us were, we were on the same page, others were not. And specifically, like when we had our meet and greet event, I did not like that event. I didn't like it at all. And it just made me realize like, oh, this is like trying to come together and it's not coming together with all 5 of us.
Okay.
And so like, I was not surprised of the discourse and the disbursement that happened after that event, because it just was not, from my perspective, it just was not good. It just wasn't. Yeah, and I'm being honest.
No, I respect. Look, I love honesty. Okay, but I really I guess for me, I enjoy. So if we're gonna talk, let's talk about it. We need to do the letter. I don't want to do the letter.
Okay,
that's okay.
That's fine.
No letter, y'all. This is the letter. This is the real letter.
It sure is.
So from my perspective, I thought the meet and greet wasn't like how our live show was, but I thought it was okay. So what was discourse for you? But this is what I'm not understanding.
We could not come together to agree on the run of show, who was going to do what hosting meant. I did not like how we engaged the guests that we already had present. I did not like how we engaged Evangeline. I didn't like how we engaged our special guests. I just didn't like any of it. I think it was...
When you say engaged, what do you mean by engaged?
I didn't feel that, for me, I think sometimes when you have a platform and you go out into public, like, you have to understand that they're showing up for us and respecting what that means. And I feel like we didn't have respect for that. And it kind of like pissed me off a little bit, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I guess I want to go deeper, but was something said that pissed you off?
No, I was just observing. Okay. I was observing how we acted, how we responded. Like, I feel like some of us just showed up like, oh, we just celebrity, look at us. And, all right, well, when we starting? And that was just our stance. And I'm just like, but why not engage the people that are here? And I feel like we didn't even gain one new follower that didn't already follow us before from that event. I feel like we didn't... there was maybe a couple of us engaging them, but everybody else was just like blinders on. It was weird to me. It was strange.
What the people with the blinders?
I'm not. Listen, I ain't gonna call out people specifically.
No. Look, tell me. Look,
I just feel like from my vantage point, like, it was weird, and I feel like the discourse of the group just really showed its head in that event. That was just my opinion.
I wasn't. Let me know off camera if you don't want to tell me on camera.
I will say my, specifically, viewpoints, but that's all I got to say for that. But overall, season 4, I think we did a good job. I think, I like the way we were able to mix and match. Whoever was going to show up, we showed up, and, we were able to be very agile to the different changes. So I think we did a great job of that. So
shady. But if I'm going to be totally honest, since we being honest, I told Solomon, and this is where he kind of agreed and didn't agree. Mm-hmm. I said, girl, let's do 5 just in case one lead would be okay.
This is what?
But I said, let's do 5 just in case one lead would still be okay. I did say that.
No, I mean, it makes sense.
And then we ended up with 2.
I said, damn. Double abortion. Yeah, because honestly, I think so. I did not grieve season 2 and 3. I really did not. I was really upset with both leaving. I understood why they both had to go, because life happens.
Yeah.
But then I was like, damn, I gotta pick new people. I gotta make this post, and I gotta go to the interviews. And then when I got the interview, I'm like, oh, this might be something. And then the baby got aborted. Didn't even finish the season. And that's what honestly, and that's what I think is tacky. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I think it's very, very tacky, especially for the ones who talking about, oh, my businessman. You didn't even see it all the way through. You could have left, but you didn't even see it all the way through. And that's one thing I don't respect. I'm gonna keep it honest. I don't like that. Joining something.
And I respect you for not respecting that.
I just think that's crazy.
That's a good response. Like, I respect you for that, but I also believe in knowing when it's time to walk away. And if they knew when it was time for them to walk away, then I could respect that.
I respect it if they didn't complain so much. I have to keep it honest. I mean, is that fair?
It is fair. It is
honestly
fair.
like the way you talked about, again, it's no bad blood. I want to make sure I put that out there.
Well, they're about to be shit.
No, it's not. Like it's my truth. I would say this to his face. Like the way you always had something to say, whether I agree with it or not, you was very what's the word looking for? Very what's the word when a person is
Contrarian? Contradicting?
Not contradicting. You was very you just always like to speak your mind. What you call that? Direct. You're very direct in whatever you had to say. So for you, now I wasn't surprised when that one did it, but
Not you pointing.
But when this one did it, I was surprised. So I'm not gonna lie, 'cause I'm just like, you out everybody like, okay. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, it is what it is. I holler and I wouldn't see it through. Y'all said just read a letter. No, we don't have a letter to read. This is our letter. Okay, we gotta go. But that's just my honest truth. Overall, again, like I said, it wasn't the worst season to me. So that's a plus.
Are you really?
I think season 1 got on my nerves.
Solomon thinks this is the worst season.
No, you said you think this is the worst season?
No. Season 1 to me was the worst season.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just keeping it honest. Who is this? Spencer. Oh, that's Meech. Well, Meech, I'm not surprised you left. Since you put it out there, I'm not surprised. I'm really not. And we can have a conversation you want to, but like it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
But like I said, season 1 was the worst. Like, because it was just, I feel like it was just a lot of turmoil.
So, okay. So to put a bow on it, I don't know if it was the worst. I think it was just the first. And it definitely gave us a lot of room to reevaluate and then grow. And now we are reevaluating again and we're scaling back. So here we are. Unfortunately, tonight we do not have the letter because we just had a little truth moment. But again, that's what we do here. We have open and honest conversations. Again, here at Open Relationship Podcast, if you're just tuning in, we're at the end.
Yeah, it is.
But thank you for joining us as we swallow hard topics and spit difference of opinions. We will see you live in January. You said January, right?
Yeah, sick.
In January. However, between now and then, we will have moments for our memberships where you can meet us on Patreon and you can also meet us on, what is it, YouTube? And on YouTube. But until then, go green. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Season 4, we are out. Ooh, that was a real conversation.